All right, so how about that NASCAR race this weekend?
Yeah, anyways. Lap, 9?
Lap 9, dude.
Lap 9.
Cheers to you guys. Lap 9.
Lap 9?
Yeah, that's a big deal. I don't know who would stop us. I don't know why we wouldn't do 9, but it just feels like a big deal. So cheers. Cheers to that.
Wouldn't like 10 be a big deal?
Shut up. Knock on wood, man. Dude, you don't want to curse it.
Dude, come on.
Be a big deal.
We need to be unique, bro. Multiples of 9, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, next celebration, lap 18. Hey, we made the first stage at Cota, to be fair. Wasn't it like 14? Or was that maybe that was
15.
Oh, yeah! Stage 1 winner. Anyways.
Sheesh.
Man.
Oh, wait, we're on 9. Never mind, I forgot.
Yeah,
I thought
we're
we were
on
on 18. Okay, anyways. Circuit of the Americas. That was a spicy race, hey?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did we all watch it, or are we just...
I
going
watched
off?
it.
Oh, no.
I watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah, about halfway through, I said, I'm not finishing this. This is crap. And then I kept watching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
I enjoyed it up till the end.
It was okay. It wasn't what... Okay, it was actually some decent racing there if you're a race fan. I mean, it's not one of those that you want to tune in if you're not a race fan. But there were some good things that happened throughout the race. I didn't like the long cautions at the first. But like we said, I know we're going to go into this again, but don't put that green bar up there above the placings on how much is left of the race, like a loading screen, you know? I mean, I guess it actually is like a loading bar because 99% took 3 hours.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, but it was just funny. I was watching it, you know, because I just kind of looked up and I'm like, oh, I never noticed that, I guess. And then I was like, wait, why are the yellow bars at the first so big? And I was like, we've talked about this, front loading the commercials. So there shouldn't be as many later.
Yeah.
I don't think that's supposed to be for commercials. That's just for cautions.
It's a little discouraging, though. Sometimes you look at that bar and it's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Like a swift kick of the old ball.
So that's how I felt about Cota, but it was a good race. I mean, gosh, those helicopter shots over turn 1 that was some good TV right there.
I thought it was great. I liked the entire race except for until we got to overtime. And there's like a few things I'd like to talk about here. 1, we need to talk about overtime because it's terrible. 2, we need to talk about how there was no stage breaks, and I thought that was great. And 3, I think we should talk about road course racing, the meta around it now. It's very different.
And can we talk about the choose cone at road courses? Because I want to know what everyone feels about that.
I'm with that.
Okay.
Yeah, my little spiel that I'm going to toss out there is just the first caution. Of course, it was Bubba Wallace, right? And it's really nothing to do with his racing style or anything he did on the track this time, because I guess what I've looked it up and everything. So he had an oil line bust, which then got underneath his back tires. And you don't have to be a racing genius to know that's not a good idea when you're going from 170 to 40 or 20 or something.
That's not good.
At the backstretch. And I've been to that track. That backstretch is super long. You're getting it, and you have to have your braking zones. Anyways, long story short, cut across. He tried to shoot the gap. He did the best he could. Tagged Jimmy Johnson. Took somebody else out. It is what it is. It was his interview afterwards.
Okay, I did not see that.
Okay, well.
As you guys know, I love Bubba Wallace, so I'm always watching
Well,
his
and
stuff.
that's the deal. I'm not trashing on. Usually, I'm trashing on his racing and whatnot. Just because I'm not. I don't know. He's really. I don't know what the word is for it that
he's
I want
arrogant.
to use.
No, he's arrogant.
It is a good one. Yeah.
I was joking. I don't like Bubba Wallace. I think he's an arrogant kind of jerk.
Arrogant. Yeah. Yeah. So
anyway, what did he say? I need to watch it myself.
So he ends the day there. And he says that they come to him at the NFL Care Center. I don't have the exact quote, but he said that he's had a bad day, whatever. He had oil under, or he said, I had oil under my tires or whatever. He said, I've been doing this for 6 years. Something about he should have been better, and I need to be, looks like I need to be replaced or something like that. And he walks away.
Okay, I'm going to watch it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just can't say that at this level. I was just trying to think of other sports because I always put it up against other sports, but let's just keep it just with racing. in F1, if one of the drivers after a race was to say something along the lines of, I need to be replaced because of the way I drive.
Whoa.
What would happen to that driver in F1?
Yeah, he'd be gone.
Right? I mean, they've got a third driver. These guys have backups in the Xfinity race, that races for the same teams and stuff. You need a very...
Why would he say that?
My deal is, I'm going to go to another kind of podcast or YouTube, Herminator, Kenny Wallace. I watch him on YouTube. He does little shorts. He did a whole spiel about this for about 10, 15 minutes, but he said you got to be really strong mentally, and especially in his team and his owners. I mean, we're talking about Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan own this team, right?
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin would never get caught saying that.
No.
He's admitted to some stuff, and he's not admitted to some stuff. But you know who he is, and he's very mentally strong. He's not going to do that. Now, Bubba Wallace does play with depression. You know what I'm saying? He has that, issue. And so what Kenny Wallace said, and I agree, he needs someone there, a trainer, a sports therapist or something. Because I think it's going the wrong direction for him. I know we kind of trash on him a little bit about being arrogant and this and that, but I'm seeing it go the other direction now real bad, and I don't like seeing it. When he said that, I was almost like PO'd at him, and then the more I think about it, it's like almost to the point of I'm kind of worried about the guy,
Yeah.
When you're at that level, if a quarterback was to say that or something in an NFL team, you would be worried.
For our listeners, do you want to listen to this interview? Because I think it's relevant.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can we clip stuff without it being a problem?
Yeah, let's not worry about it.
We don't want to play it?
Contact you had with the 11 and the 5 there, Bubba, but what happened to the car that put you out of the race?
Broke toe link in the rear and then oil line. Just trying my hardest not to go down that slippery slope of self-doubt right here. 2 weeks in a row making rookie mistakes, 6 years in the Cup. Need to be replaced.
Thanks, Bubba.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's been under fire. Like he's been down in the dumps for. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the Netflix Bubba thing. I don't remember what the hell they called it now. I thought it was like something like Bubba, but maybe it wasn't.
I think it is actually called Bubba, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he wasn't doing great mentally for the longest time. So I mean, that's why I've tried to be less hard on him. Like especially watching that stuff. I mean, I'm sure he goes through all the struggles and everything.
That's a good point,
it's bad to
Antonio.
see.
That kind of arrogance, but defensive arrogance, where like everyone's mad at you all the time, is kind of one of the first signs of anxiety and depression. You're very right. I've never thought of it that way. I feel bad now, but yeah, poor guy's not doing good. I mean, he said it like two rookie mistakes, 2 weeks in a row. Like
Been in here 6 years. Yeah. Like he's really leaning on himself. And like I said, it's not that I still think that he needs to find some way to level out, I guess, right? So me and y'all, everybody kind of agreed or whatever. Me and Dave sure thought he was kind of arrogant. And then now he's down in the dumps. He needs to figure out a way to level out. And I mean, Lewis Hamilton had, I forgot her name. I don't know her name, but the blonde
Angela.
was with him. Yeah, Angela Cullen. Is that correct?
Angela Cullen.
Yeah, was with him for years. Now not. They just split, and she's going to do her own thing. But maybe he needs something like that. And I'm just pinging off of Kenny Wallace because he did make a good point. I was thinking it, but I didn't go this in depth in it. He's like, he needs somebody there when he gets out of that car and goes to the Infield Care Center to be telling him, look, man, these things are going to happen. It's how you get out in front of everybody and how you get behind yourself again, to rebound. Because this one's not even his fault.
He's with a great, they're an up and coming team and they're showing signs of greatness, but one of his team owners is Michael Jordan. Like,
talk about mental toughness and I don't know how he's going to feel about that.
Yeah.
But Bubba Wallace is Bubba Wallace's own enemy sometimes. I heard, and I think I've told y'all this before, Michael Jordan says, when you meet me, if you're on my team, if I'm sponsoring you or whatever the case may be, I'd like you to have Jordans on when we meet, when we're seen in public. That's just brand recognition. That's all he's trying to do. It's not arrogance. And I guess Bubba Wallace refuses to do that.
Well, okay. Yeah. I don't know.
That could be a little bit more understandable though. I mean, you really should be doing what your sponsor wants you to do. Now, I'm not saying be a puppet entirely. I just mean like, if that's what he wants and he's a major sponsor in your team, I mean, he's should probably be doing it. Like owner, I should say. He's an owner of your team. I feel like that's a bit different. Like if Rick Hendrick came up to you and told you, "Yo, man, you got to wear some wear Hendrix hat. You got to wear some Jimi Hendrix like apparel, bro, when we're hanging out." Like, you know what I mean? You got to you should probably listen to him. But
I'm not sponsored by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan says we're meeting next week. I would be ecstatic. I mean, just out of my mind. And if he said you got to have a pair of Jordans on, I would have them on until I see him. I'd sleep in them. Yeah. I would wear them everywhere.
Whatever it takes, man. I don't know. And I mean, where else is Bubba going to go?
Yeah, I know.
It's not like he has this illustrious history of, being a dominant road racer, or like, is he going to go to dirt late models and start racing small tracks, or what's the play? He's not an Alexander Rossi. He's not you know what I mean? He can't just go do IndyCar. Maybe he can. I don't know.
Yeah. What's your take on it, Norman?
I kind of still felt that he was arrogant. That's not a rookie mistake. I almost feel like he was trying to draw attention to himself. I didn't like it.
Do you think he was being sarcastic? Maybe one of his, someone said something to him and he was just repeating it because he's mad? Because that's something he would do.
I think he's being serious, and I think there is. I do see y'all saying about down in the dumps, but I think it's I can't stand poor pitiful me.
I hear that,
and that's what I got out of it is, another rookie mistake. I'm out of the race. I shouldn't be driving this car because I'm out 2 weeks in a row, and I'm like, dude, grow up.
Yeah, I can see it that way. I don't know, man. You gotta have the fight, you gotta have the fight inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, Bubba's kind of lacked that for me over the last season or two. And the whole, and that includes the Kyle Larson incident, because that wasn't fight. That was attention. He just wanted attention.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I feel that he's racing, and I think he thinks he's better than he is, and he can't accept that he's a mid-pack car right now, and he's a mid-pack driver. And if you want to get better, stop making people feel bad for you. Go out there and get better.
Yeah.
Be Michael Jordan.
Right. Dunk on him.
Michael Jordan didn't get to be the greatest player in basketball of all time. We're not getting into that debate. By not practicing. Michael Jordan put in tons of practice a day to get there, And I think that's what he's got to realize is if you want to be the best, you got to work for it.
And I wouldn't say Bubba's bad. Bubba's had some great showings in the last couple of.
He's won in other cars. He's won. Late models. Trucks. He can win. He can drive. I think he deserves to be a NASCAR Cup Series.
I think he's a top half of the field driver.
Yeah,
in NASCAR. So he deserves a seat in NASCAR. There's a lot of other drivers I don't think deserve a seat over him. But I think he's got to realize that he's not a Kyle Larson or a William Byron.
No.
You're not there. And if you want to be with them and you want to be at their level, you've got to put in the time and the practice. And he could be. And it just might be that he's hit his ceiling. And he's not happy with that ceiling.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got to right now he's got to know, like y'all said, he's an up and coming team. They're not one of the top teams right now. Not saying they won't be. They're just not there yet. And I think he's got to say, I'm only going to be able to do what I can do right now. So let's just do the best I can and build. I don't know if he knows how to build on a team. I don't know his past history well enough and know if he got put with really good teams coming up through the ranks. But anyways, I don't want to spend the whole podcast on
a lot of Bubba.
It was worth touching on just so that we can kind of keep an eye, right? See how he comes out of this. But, you know what? If he's having depression issues, good luck to the dude, man.
Talk to someone.
Yeah, talk to someone seriously. But anyways, yeah, that was the first caution of the old race, though. So I figured I'd toss that one in there. But
yeah. What else did we want to go over? There was I know this was the first trial run for all three series. There was no stage breaks. While there was there were still stages. Obviously, points were still awarded on the lap, but there was no caution thrown unless you watch the truck race because they're always a garbage crapshoot and there's always caught. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, force a habit. But no, I thought it was a lot better. There was more strategy options. Like I really feel like we would benefit from not from seeing stages just be gone entirely. Like I know they're a thing. It's probably a huge debate because I know TV likes it. I know that's why they came in to begin with, which is the same reason why the chase and then the playoffs came in. It's just one, more time to run commercials. Two, more cautions. We know cautions breed cautions and action. Do I think places like super speedways would benefit from keeping them and maybe mile and a halfs? Yeah. Would I like to see them gone at short tracks and road courses? Absolutely. But I really, without going too into the car, I think the car is the big problem right now. If we fix the car and the racing, you could probably say you could do away with stages entirely. But in the current time we have right now with stages, I would say I'd like to see them gone on road courses and short tracks, and I'd be happy. I'd be content.
So back to the car. What do you think can be improved about the car exactly?
And I don't have the solutions. I'm not exactly an engineer, but I would say there's definitely something wrong with it when the two main things to do with NASCAR that we were born and bred on, and which is plate tracks, super speedways, whatever you want to call them, and short tracks. They both suck. The product on both of them is terrible.
Yeah.
And I think we all see that. So until they fix that, they won't be able to fix anything.
I'd like to ask on that same note, Antonio, did you like the tandem racing that used to be produced from the older cars?
So there's going to be a big difference in opinions here, I think, between us, because I thought it was cool. Now, because of course, that's what I grew up watching. Obviously very different age gap between me and you guys. I grew up, tandem was huge. Like I grew up watching the end of the Gen 4 into the Car of Tomorrow and whatever else. I don't know if they call it Gen 5 and 6. That was mainly what I grew up watching. So me personally, I thought tandem was better than what we got now. But at the same time, it's hard to say. Like, it still wasn't great. I mean, do I want to see two car teams pushing each other? I mean, it was really cool, don't get me wrong. But would I want that to stick around for a long time? Probably not.
Yeah, for me, it was super gimmicky. It was like really cool, flash in the pan when it first started happening. It's like, oh, wow, because, you got usually 4-car teams, 2 of them split up together, It was kind of neat in that aspect of it. But after a while, I got burnt out on it because I actually got to see some of the good racing prior to that, at super speedways. But I was just kind of curious because I didn't know how far you wanted to go back or where you were wanting to aim for if they were to fix the car,
Well, I mean, even just back to so there was a time just after the Car of Tomorrow where I thought the racing was overall pretty good from what I can remember. I thought there was they had all the stages. They still had the playoffs, I think, because the playoffs came in, in 2017 or something? Didn't they come with stages? I can't remember. But anyways, long story short, I thought they had it decent. Even the Gen 6, as much as everybody loved to kill that car, we did kind of take a step back in some cases with this new car. I really thought the Gen 6 wasn't that bad. Now, I mean, drivers may beg to differ, whoever else may beg to differ, but I just would like to see the cars with less downforce. I just genuinely believe that that ground effects was not the right call. Now, is it okay? It's nice because it doesn't ruin your race if you screw up a splitter or you cave your rear end in a bit. Your race isn't entirely over, because most of the downforce is from the ground. But at the same time, I can't remember who was saying it. I think it was actually in reference to Atlanta and Auto Club and stuff. And if you watched the Cup car drivers run, they're all super smooth running around those tracks because the car's just glued to the track. Whereas you go take the Xfinity in the truck and they are wheeling it around the thing, correcting, turning right sometimes out of the corner and stuff, sliding the thing around. Like, it just looks like more fun and more skill. And even like on Cota, I was listening to DBC earlier, and they're talking about, now this isn't something I care about being changed, but they were talking about the sequential shifter and how much easier it is to drive Cota with it, which is good, because I mean, like, H pattern around there would be really hard. Don't get me wrong.
Totally.
Like, he was saying, like, if you were to take any of those Cup guys who haven't been doing the like trucks for Xfinity in a while, and you go stick them in one, like, they would have a hard time competing with the guys that run it all the time at Cota or something like that. So there's just stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's a big, I guess, issue, like, to say the least. Like, why is the Cup car arguably easier to drive than the Xfinity car?
Yeah. And you saw that at Atlanta too, right? Kind of same thing.
Well, yeah, like, that's why Xfinity and trucks were more of a caution fest. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's inexperience. You always have to factor that in. There's always going to be, like, I can't lie. The trucks, man, those guys race like boneheads. It's really bad. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, even if you put the Cup guys in there, like, it looks like it takes more skill to drive those things. Now at Atlanta, I genuinely think a lot of it happened because, like, the aero moving the cars around with the Xfinity and the truck, whereas Cup, yes, they're sensitive, but they have that ground effect sticking them down.
Yeah.
Like, even go try it in iRacing. It's such a big difference. It's huge.
Yeah, I'm not a good enough oval rating to try the official for the Cup car. I'm B class, but the Xfinity car is hard to drive sometimes.
Yeah, I tried out that Gen 4 too. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Man, doing H pattern around Cota, I mean, all things considered, the Xfinity must have been a huge challenge. A huge challenge.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm sure those trucks are probably got to be heavier than the Xfinity cars and weirder. That light rear end must just be brutal.
Yeah, especially like into the stadium section where you're really whipping it back and forth, and yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so I just thought that's a big issue. I mean, I'm sure Norman probably has some stuff to say about it too, because you got to experience more. I don't know, is Levi older than you, Norman? I can't remember. I think he is, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, you two probably have a better insight on when the racing was really good, because I think there was a time period where I would say the late 90s and early 2000s. You might beg to differ, but I thought that was likely better than, you know, you go back to the 80s and 70s and when they're running, like, you know, one guy drives away, like Petty's just driving away from the field, putting people laps down, or Dale's doing that. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can speak to the better times more.
So you still had the restrictor plate that slowed the cars down. So they still had to use the draft in the late 90s, even in the early 90s, but more towards the late 90s. They had to use each other to drive away from the field. But you still had to drive the car. So that's what I really enjoy in the restrictor plate tracks is lower the downforce on the car, make it a driver's car, slow them down to 180. No, we don't need to be running 200 if it's dangerous because the car is going to flip over. But I think you would get more entertaining racing where, yeah, you have to, you can't just drive away from everyone. But if a good group of fast cars get together, they can go race each other. You know, it comes to driver skill, not car. And I think that would help. I think if you lower downforce at all the tracks, I think you see a lot of improvement in racing.
Yeah, because I even remember back in the day, pre-COT and stuff, Kyle Busch dominated the car for a while. He would take off and run and leave.
Yeah. And then you look at, like, when Junior got big, he dominated the restrictor plate tracks, but he was only decent at the mile and halves. It wasn't like he had to be on a restrictor plate track to dominate.
Yeah, all the rest of it was possibly a fuel mileage or something. And sometimes he'd have some good top 5 finishes, but he wasn't like a guy to win at the mile and a half. But yeah, when he was restrictor plate racing, you knew. And the crazy thing was, I used to watch him, and I told y'all before, the DirecTV channel, that was just his channel. But even in practice and stuff, I'd get his radio, and even at restrictor plates, he was so dominant and knew the car so well before all the, they started changing COTs and stuff. he would actually go to the back of the pack, and then he'd tell his spotter that we're going to try to move up. He'd go all the way to the front of the pack during practice and go all the way back like 2 or 3 times. I mean, he was just really good at those, and he could tell that car. I don't think the cars are built where you can. I don't know if anybody's that good anymore. I guess we could say William Byron might be figuring it out, but I just don't know. It's not the same car. I don't think that you can have that feel.
And I think it started right there before the car of tomorrow too. Is they were starting to form the freight train right there before the car of tomorrow, if I remember correctly. And ever since then, restricting plate racing has gone spiraling out of control and downhill. And I think the only way that we can fix it is to make them have to drive the car at those tracks.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know how to fix. I don't know how to fix plate tracks. I don't know enough about like the aero and what does what. But I know before you used to be able to jump out of line and have 2 lines. Now, like unless you have everyone go with you, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's like 5th to 19th.
Well, the problem with that is because no one else is gonna go.
Yeah, but it's almost because they've created that meta now because the car's so bad that no one's going to go with you.
Well, I think it's just if you go and you start racing and I think they're scared of the wreck. I don't think it's they don't want to go. It's no one wants to get out there, start racing and wreck with 180 laps to go. Everyone wants just to sit around and ride, and then we'll go at the very end.
I mean, heck, we play iRacing. It's a simulator. Essentially it's a video game, and we do the same thing. I mean, I've been in leagues, and we've talked about it as a team. I've been on a team with Antonio. I've been on a team with Norman, and we talked about it. Look, we're just going to hang out in the back, try to keep up with the main pack, but stay to the back by a second or so, and then try to go through the couple of pit stops we got to make, and in the last 20, we're going to make our move. Maybe they're doing the same thing.
And that's what they used to do. I know the Dale Jarrett's of racing would do that. They would drop to the back of the pack. They would let everyone get all their things done. And then you would go. They didn't have to worry about the freaking big wreck with 5 to go, though.
Yeah, but see, that's what I was going to bring up, is that what this is bred is this, what we saw at Cota, is this like, well, it's not the same thing, but it's we saw it at Atlanta. We're going to see it almost everywhere this season. NASCAR overtime, just over and over and over and over again, because everyone waits to the last 20 laps. I know that's traditionally how it's been, and to build on Antonio's point, like the car's not that great. And so you have to make really aggressive kind of crazy moves. I mean, Jordan Taylor, Kimi Räikkönen, Jenson Button, all in their interview was like, yeah, that was the most contact I've ever had, ever. Like, Jordan Taylor said that he had more car contact in that race than his entire career combined. So you have to push people out of the way. And I know that's stock car racing, but is it going to breed this like NASCAR overtime hellscape where as a viewer, we just have to watch these guys run caution, green, white checker over and over again every race? And is it good TV? Am I just the outlier? Because I don't like it. I think it's trash, honestly.
Well, yeah, this one was a stretch, man.
They called the caution at like turn 18 on him. Like,
yeah, I think the first caution that was actually called, and it was just because Ross Chastain could get the car refired, which I guess there's a little bit of controversy on that, whether he did that on purpose or not.
I think it was on purpose. Why not?
There you go.
Definitely with the green flag just dropping and that tire carcass comes off. Well, it's in the middle of the backstretch, right? Once all the cars get out of the way and down the backstretch, you have what? A minute before the leader gets there?
Yeah.
Man, probably 2.
Yeah.
Let's get a guy out there, grab that tire carcass, throw it in the back of the truck, and get the truck off the track. Let's go.
Formula One does like a 130 something at Cota, right? Like, dude.
Yeah, we're doing like 220s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you have a long way. You just go
it's
get
bad.
Yeah, you can sweep up and you're done.
Dude, you could even bring the jet dryer out. Like, what's his nuts ain't going to hit the thing. He's not racing.
Juan Pablo?
Yeah.
Juan Pablo Montoya. So, that all works until trackside Tommy sprains an ankle, right? Flops his cheese in the middle of the track trying to pick up a tire, and then just gets roasted like that cat. Pulls a hammy, dragging the leg across.
Oh man,
2:12 is what they were turning.
Here comes Tyler Reddick.
A 2:12.706 was their fastest lap at Cota.
Yeah, so last guy goes by, you got like a minute 45.
Yeah, but they don't even do that in F1 anymore. I mean, to be honest, they'll stop that thing. The virtual safety car, which NASCAR doesn't need a virtual safety car. Good gosh.
Yeah,
they don't need another.
100% don't need that.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I know this, I was going to leave it till the end, but do we even need to be going to Cota in stock cars right now?
No, we really don't.
No, we don't.
There's enough other tracks out there, right?
I will tell you this. The battle between Reddick and Byron, I thought was incredible. That was some of the best racing I've seen all season.
It was good clean racing too, I'll give them that.
Yes. And that's what I enjoyed about it, was it was clean. This whole like meta that y'all were talking about with the wrecks and like you got to just bump them out of the way, you got to push them. I was like, dude, if you can't pass the guy cleanly, then sorry.
Well, we saw the same thing at like Indy last year a lot. Like literally as soon as you get, and this is the problem with unlimited green, white checkers. Like it used to be 3. When did they make it unlimited? I only figured that out at Daytona. But anyways, besides the point, like guys are just sending it up the inside. Like literally like, oh, you're like 30th and have nothing to lose. Like worst case scenario, you take a guy off, piss him off, take a guy out, piss him off, and then come back and then now you're like, 15th, and you do that a couple more times every freaking green, white checkered. Look at Chastain. He got turned and he ended up like 4th. Like what?
Yeah. That one's rough you can't explain that one, right?
Yeah, like how is that happening? Like I don't know, man. I'm gonna complain about it all the time because I really think it's the stupidest thing ever. Green, white checkers are terrible. If you really want to attempt to try and end the race under green, because I know sometimes we get that yellow with like 5 to go, and it ruins the race a little bit. So you know what? Give them one try. You get one attempt to finish this right, and I promise you, you will fix that because nobody's gonna send it up the middle and end the race anymore because now you've ruined your race. It's over. Like, I don't know. I just think it's I think they're terrible. I think they ruined the racing. It literally took what was going to be the best race of the season and made it an hour longer. Probably, I don't know. There's a fact out there somewhere. It was probably like 35 minutes or 40 minutes or something. But like they're doing probably 4-minute pace laps or something dumb. Like it was brutal, man. I watched it PVR. Thank God. I was like, oh my gosh. Like I've gone through an hour almost of recording time to get through 4 restarts.
Those cautions.
And literally nothing changed. Look who still won.
Yeah. Those cautions were so long. Even in the beginning, the pace laps were so long that it was like lap, I don't know, with the second or third, what was it, lap 15 when that caution came out? I don't remember. 14? So I don't remember. I had to go run an errand. It took me 30 minutes and I came back and it was like lap 20. Like it was slow. Yeah. Like I was expecting the race to be almost over and I came back and it was like only like 7 or 8 laps had gone by. It's like, ooh.
Well, and you guys know me. I'm an advocate for shorter races too. And like I don't understand. Like why do we need to sit here for 3.5 hours? Like who wants to do that?
Right.
Nobody.
Anyway, and an hour of it is commercials.
Got to give a shout out to Reddick for being able to hold his own through those 4 freaking overtime laps. Cautions. Like how he didn't. I know he blew the turn off the first one and kept the lead and drove away and kept doing that and had to dodge people freaking trying to run through him. I just got to give a shout out to him for being able to do that and staying mentally strong to stay on top of stay in the lead. Secondly, since the laps are so long there and we just had a caution for the green, white checkered, why not just run 1 lap? Just 1 caution lap.
Because they don't have a race steward to reduce the caution laps in iRacing?
Yeah, I don't know why they did either. They're like you said, and then can we talk about the caution for dirt? I mean, we're really just going to skip over that one. There was dirt on the track. They called it caution.
The drivers put there.
Yeah, they cut the corner, Had dirt on the track. Whoa. Hold on. We got to stop. There's dirt on the track. Easy.
We can't have this in stock car racing. Dirt? No way.
Anyways, so I just turned into a bash NASCAR session again. But
well, they deserve
I just
it
don't
a
think.
little.
Yeah, they do, but I just don't think Cota produces the racing that stock car. I think they just take it out. I don't think that you need to replace it with another road course. When I was growing up, the only two I really remember them going to was Sonoma and the Glen.
That's all I remember.
Those tracks are good for stock cars. That's the thing.
They
like,
are.
why are we going
They
to
are.
Cota? It's
Well,
S's.
why are they going
like,
to
and
what?
partially,
Why are we going to S's?
I have to say, like, I'm Texas, Mr. Texas here. Like, we only have Texas Motor Speedway. There's nothing else. Texas is huge. Like, it was in NASCAR's best interest to run something in one of the largest markets in the U.S. I mean, they see Formula One that draws hundreds of thousands of people, and there's not a bunch of race fans in Texas, really, like for Formula One. And there's a bunch of NASCAR fans. And so, I mean, who doesn't love Dale? You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean,
Praise Hale, praise Dale.
Amen, brother. And I think they had to do something in Texas. So unless Texas Motor Speedway gets fixed, or Texas gets another oval, or they redo the one that's in East Texas or whatever, like, I think we're going to have Cota. Maybe we run a different layout. I don't know, but even though I agree that it's not good racing, I don't want it to go, because other than Texas Motor Speedway, the next closest is like, I don't know, Atlanta or somewhere ungodly
From a marketing
far.
standpoint, I totally understand. Like, I totally get what you're saying. I don't disagree that it's I get what they're doing. It's maybe Chicago's a bit weird, but I like kind of get the idea of it, where they're like, yeah, let's hop on like the street course thing because everybody's on that wave right now.
Because NASCAR's cool.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a gimmick thing too. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe not gimmick, but just trying to hop on the wave. Like, they're doing street courses, but like, why don't we go to something that's like already established? Like, it's kind of like the Coliseum, and I hate to go back to that because we had a really big episode on the Coliseum and how we all thought it was kind of cool, but not really necessary. But I just feel like that's one of those things. Like, we're gonna go build a street track. We're gonna go build a friggin' Coliseum into a racetrack. Like, why not go put that into a track that's either already made or one that we haven't ran to before? Like when we went to Road America, like, I thought the Road America race when we went there was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like that place because it's 90s and straights, and it's understandable, but I still think that's better than Cota. I mean,
I think the Glen is great, you know, and Sonoma is great. Well, it's good. Better than Cota.
Minus the carousel, it's great. If you don't do the carousel layout, I think it's great.
So I like Sonoma where they hop them curves, they can throw the cars around, right? And the track can take it. It seems like the cars work well there. I like the undulations and different things. And I don't know, Cota I've raced it in an Xfinity on iRacing Sim. It's literally just throttle control. Like, that seems like all you're doing around there. It's just throttle control, and don't turn too hard. Don't turn too little. Don't turn too much. Just keep it on the track. I don't know. I don't really know how they do it in real life because it's pretty sketch there. First blistering of tires we saw at this track too, so I don't know if that'll come up later. They had some chunking coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to know why I like Cota, or not Cota, sorry, but you want to know why I like Sonoma so much? And obviously, I'm a bit biased because Sonoma is one of my favorite tracks. It's technically my home track, but I like that they can throw it over the bumps and stuff, like especially in the chute when we run the no carousel layout. Like, stock cars can handle huge bumps. It's great. Even like some of the crazy curbs, like I'm trying to think of what is a good example of this. Like, the only curbs that I can think of that are used on a lot of like F1 tracks are the ones that, like, I'm thinking of Spain's chicane in the final corner.
Big.
Like, NASCAR can take those kinds of curbs. Like, we should be going to places where instead of worrying about tracking out and track limits because we're running high-speed S's in a car that literally doesn't have downforce capable of doing it, why would we not go to something that's similar to that? Or,
so you want NASCAR to go to Barcelona?
No, I really don't. I don't think that would be fun because there's a lot of long sweeping corners. But I don't know. I like how Sonoma drives, and it always produces good racing. I feel like when we go there, Glen always produces good racing. Road America produced good racing. I'm sure there's other places. We could probably even go to Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like Road Atlanta would be awesome. Like hell, I mean, I hate the place, but hell, you could go to Barber. Like honestly, I don't know.
Please, no, please.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's the first time I've ever heard Norman say no to Barber.
I know, right? But no, I don't actually want them to go there. But like,
what is
Mid Ohio? Like, there's so much better options.
What is that
so
new professional golf series
Live.
that's out there? Live, Live, golf.
Live Live, LIV, whatever.
Saudi
that is.
Arabia.
Live Golf. Yeah, that's like telling Live Golf to go play Augusta.
I'm gonna pretend I understand that.
Yeah. So on that point, kind of going back to what Dave was saying, so we think that they go to Cota because it's big NASCAR country. I mean, is that kind of what we're kind of consensus of what?
Well, yeah.
what
I
we
mean, you
think
got to
they go?
do, because like I said, so I'm from San Antonio area, and even if I'm from Austin, which is an hour and a half from San Antonio, just to give everyone perspective, like Dallas is 4 hours away from San Antonio, or I mean 5 even with traffic on 35. It sucks going through Waco and all that. And Austin, I mean, it's kind of like I said, I mean, Dallas is realistically from me like 5 or 6 hour drive, and you have to get 2 or 3 days hotel, so it's kind of a big deal. And I think that NASCAR sees also that would make Cota, other than Phoenix, and do they somewhere in California maybe, but Cota's pretty close to Mexico, all things considered. I mean, San Antonio is like a 2 hour drive, so Cota's like 3.5 hours from Mexico. And so, I mean, you know, we got guys like Daniel Suarez, and even in IndyCar, we have there's some good Mexican drivers coming up, and so I think that they have interest in being in central southern Texas. I mean, you have to be, right? There's so many people. I mean, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, and Houston are all of the 10 largest cities in the U.S. And so, I mean, like, you have to do some races in Texas. You have to. Even if the racing's not that great. I mean, we saw the same thing with Formula One. Formula One drivers were complaining like crazy about Cota, but there was nowhere else to go. I mean, and it's not just Texas, it's the whole U.S. in that sense. But it's such a great location. Austin's a really good, accommodating town. It can handle a lot of people. Cota's in the middle of nowhere. If you've never been to Cota, I mean, it is in the middle of nowhere. You could park 1 million people at Cota and not disturb anybody.
Yeah, there's literally the town, then like a little space, an airport, then some more space, then Cota.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's the one. It's 130 toll road. It's like a new road they built from Seguin to Austin, and it is nothing, man. There's barbecue joints and nothing. An 85-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like, nice, thanks, Texas. But anyway, point is I don't think you can go anywhere else. I think NASCAR has to go to Cota. Like, I think we'll see IndyCar come back. There's big money in Cota. Like, there's big Texas money in Cota between Red McCombs and all of the, now they're a Lexus sponsored circuit. They used to be an Audi sponsored circuit. They do all kinds of consumer driver stuff there. Like, Cota's going to be around. And I think they're going to, if they don't get interest, they're going to pay their way in to get races there. Because they need to make the rent, you know. And Formula One has been cutting it lately, but you know, between Indy, MotoGP, and NASCAR, it's a lot of money, man. There's a lot of people in Austin and San Antonio and Houston. There's a lot of people. Anyway,
that's a really good segue into kind of my thought and my question, I guess. So how does F1 do? A lot of their sponsorships come from the sponsors on the car, correct? NASCAR, a lot of the money comes from the sponsors on the car. Why is it that NASCAR leans on the TV commercials so much? When F1, you can watch an F1 televised event. It seems like there's less commercials. They don't need that payment. Is there just that much F1 money coming in other places? I mean, I know there's more money flying around F1 than NASCAR. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying, maybe NASCAR is getting it wrong with the way they're going at it. Maybe they can take a page out of F1's book, because maybe that's. I'm just saying the reason for the commercials maybe is because of the fact that, you know, I don't know, because they've got just as many sponsors on their car, if not more, than F1.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
not as big as sponsors.
I would have to speculate that it's part of their TV deal with Fox.
Yeah.
That there's some sort of, I don't know, because like the truth is that like if you want to see onboard footage of NASCAR, like it's kind of free. You can find it out there. Like Fox does it, and like you can get some inside stuff. But what we're burdened with is ads, and so with Formula One, we have to pay $10 a month to get all that juiciness. And
True story.
and that also Formula One's heavily embedded with Sky Sports. Like they say, push the red button on your remote, and like I'm always like, I don't have a red button, like
Yeah.
it's because like ESPN's paying for that broadcast, and Mercedes, or it used to be Mother's Window Tint, but now it's Mercedes, is paying the whole sponsorship bill for the commercials. I'm sure it's deep and involves a lot of pieces, but I agree, Levi. I think that programming, anticipating cautions, and especially when we hear commentators and announcers kind of hoping that a caution comes so they can go to a commercial break, or like, the big one's coming, or like whatever. Like there's a producer in the background like, hey guys, we have like, 4 minutes to commercial, like, and I think
Hard break, right?
yeah, having commercials programmed into your program and the way you do business is tough. And I get it, Mike Joy, if you're listening, I get it. Like, I'm sorry, but like we said last episode, I would happily take the Formula One model over the current model. Like, I love racing, and most NASCAR fans are pretty dang passionate people. I would say in some sense more passionate than American Formula One fans, who for the most part just want to be included, right? Because it's this big international sport that didn't really include us, and now we're not included, and now we're crazy about it. It sounds really American to me. Anyway, for NASCAR, why don't I would pay the $9.99 a month for NASCAR Live or NASCAR TV or whatever to alleviate this problem. I want to see the cars run the pace laps. I want to see them come in and take their pit stop under caution. I want to see all that. I'm a race fan. Like, I don't just want to watch green flag racing all the time. And if anything, sometimes Formula One lacks that in their model. Like we've talked about before, like Formula One races can be pretty dang boring. I hate to say it, but like those pit stop moments when a caution comes out and like, oh, so-and-so's pitting, like what's going to happen? That's where my brain works in a race. And so watching, a ointment commercial instead sucks.
Yeah, and just the towards the end of that race, what they were doing with their camera shots was frustrating. It's like they didn't know how to do a road course. So Chastain, was trying to refire his car, and we just stayed on his car. And for me, I'm watching, especially this race, because my boy Kimmy was back, right? Jordan Taylor's in there. You got Jenson Button in there. Those guys had pit early so that they could get their tires and try to do something towards the end of the race, and they'd gassed up instead of waiting until they were completely out. So when the restart fired, they were all up in the top 10, top 12, top 15 for the first time all race long. So I'm excited to watch Kimmy and see what he can do. They go through turn one, and we sat there and watched Ross Chastain try to refire his car. Is not exciting to me. The next thing you know, they're down the backstretch. Everybody's already, changed positions. And, I think Reddick had already made it back up to the front. It's like, how did that happen? Oh, wait, now the caution's out. We'll go back and show you the racing on replay. No, I should have been watching that first. You could have shown me Ross Chastain's car on replay. That just frustrated me.
Yeah. But it's too many cameras, man. They're used to 4 corners.
Yeah,
Cota's got 20 corners, dude. That's like NASCAR. That's a lot. That's a lot of math, man.
Speaking of that, it's 2023, and poor AJ Allmendinger still couldn't hear his crew most of the race for some reason.
Love to see him win the Xfinity race. I think he's going to win a Cup race this year, even if he can't hear his crew.
Yeah, I hope so.
The dinger,
the dinger, baby.
Good dude. Good dude.
I guess the last thing, NASCAR, before we move on, I did want to quickly discuss our opinion of choose cone at road courses. because I personally hated it.
I had one more thing after that as well.
Okay, yeah, but
I thought it was fantastic because you saw it come into play at the end.
Yeah, Kyle Busch, man, he figured it out. I think if they keep using it from here on out, especially at Cota, if we go back, which I think they will. I think they've signed up, but they'll be back there, and that will come into play big time. It was way better to be the second car on the inside than to pick the outside.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Don't like it. Don't like it. I'm old. I'm angry old man. I'm the gray haired dude. I'm like, take the fuse cone away and get rid of all this crap.
I liked it because if you were in second place, you got to choose the second most prime spot to be in. You don't have to get screwed over.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you that choice, and it gives that guy on the outside, I guess, if he wants to take the chance. Yeah.
I think I talked about this in one of our first couple episodes. I think we debated the choose cone after Daytona or something like that. But I have been in many races in real life where I've always been in a position where they're like in the caution fest of a race, and you just keep getting shafted on the outside lane. Like literally, this one race was a caution fest, and it's like 8 or 10 cautions or something like that. And every damn one, I was on the outside, and I couldn't do anything the whole race. And I mean, the same concept applies to the road course. There's a preferred line and a not preferred line. In this case, it just happens to be in and outside. But I mean, I like it. I mean, I thought there was a place that I said I didn't like it. I don't want to contradict myself, but I'm starting to like it more. I think it's nice because you get to pick in order of whatever position you were in. So, if you're third, you get the third best position, potentially. Like, you're the third best position to pick your, future, your path, where you're going to go. If you're fourth and you want to try and gamble around the outside, you can do it if the first three guys line up on the inside. So, I'm for it. I don't care. It doesn't do too much. Like, it's nothing like that's bad about it. I think it was a good move. Why not? They had it back in the day or something crazier. Short tracks had it, so I know that's why guys wanted it.
Isn't that part of racing, though, bro?
It's not tradition, bro.
Yeah, get rid of the stage race. Get rid of the choose cone.
Get rid of all this new age.
No more. Golly.
Let's just make them wear skirts. Just move on.
Man, bring back them open face helmets. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, with them goggles.
We're going to be this open-minded. Choose cones and participation trophies.
Some of this stuff, I think, is why you've ran people away from NASCAR, I think. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't like it. It just, that was part of the, I remember when they were coming off pit road sometimes and guys didn't want to be on the outside. So they would actually, like TJ, go back to Dale Jr. I watched a lot of his stuff.
What would Dale do?
Jr. and TJ, yeah, he would actually they'd figure out where he was at if he was midway down pit road and try to come out as an odd number so he'd be on the inside. Like, it was part of the game. Now, you don't have to do that anymore, man. Don't worry about that. You're not like racing or anything. So you just pick where you want to be. Yeah, pick where you want to be. It doesn't matter where you roll the dice. You can pick where you want to be. This is the new world order.
Yeah, you can ride the grass like Ross Chastain on pit exit at Atlanta. Just like, screw the road. I don't need that. Get out in front of everyone, choose cone. Now you're in second place or whatever.
Boom. Bada bing, bada bing, bada boom.
That easy, baby.
Yeah, it's just like that. I don't know why everybody doesn't do this.
Yeah, bro. Let's go back to single file restarts too. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
hey, I remember those.
Okay. Point taken.
Now that there has been some things, yes, that has done better. I just don't like those, and I'm with all y'all. Stage racing is just, I think they tried it, didn't work. Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Well, it's just like the Cota was exciting and it was getting ramped up because of why people were running out of fuel and and then they all got thrown out the window with a caution, and you could have that same feeling of the fuel mileage and the long run and who's going to take tires and do you take tires, no tires. That used to be a thing before the stages. It used to be a thing all through the race, not just at the end. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's why I don't understand. Like, why can't we find a happy medium? Like, I get it. You're never going to please everybody. Obviously, that's not going to happen ever. But if you want stages, man, keep them at the super speedways and the mile and a halves. And even the intermediates if you really want. If you want Green, white, checkers, and you just want to try and end the race under green, do one. Why do we need 3? Or not even 3. It's unlimited now. Like, dude,
I didn't know it was unlimited.
We're junking cars. Literally, the amount of cars that got junked in every situation. There's been a green, white, checkered. Daytona, Talladega. All we do is junk cars 3 times instead of once.
Yep.
You go.
What about Martinsville or Bristol when you got 8 cars left at the end of
Exactly. Like, even Cota,
it's
though.
like 1 a.m. and they're still trying to finish the race.
Look at Cota and Indy, though. They're just throwing haymakers up the inside. Like, they're just like, man, just like at this point, screw it. And I don't blame them. Like, why not? You got nothing to lose other than money. Like, seriously, like, who cares? And when I mean money they're going to make. I'm not talking about money as in the team's going to pay for it. Who cares? As a driver, man, throw that thing up the inside. What do you got to lose?
Get it.
You're going to gain points. You're going to gain money by where you finish. Like, that's literally, like, why not? So, I don't know. Yeah. And I don't think that's right. I don't know, man. It's insane to me, but
yeah.
I really, green, white, checkers, I care more about that than stages. They have ruined so many races with green, white, checkers because we've been there an extra 40 minutes. I can't even tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, all 3 of the road racers that came, well, I guess Connor Daly doesn't count because he's just been sucking at everything he does lately, poor guy. But like Jordan Taylor and Kimi Räikkönen and Jenson Button all were just like, yeah, that was trash.
My thing is with the what they called the road course ringers who came in for those races, you didn't see any of them up front. Like
Kimi got to like what 4th for a second under pit cycle or whatever.
I was going to say that was pit cycle. That was not. Everybody knew. Well, I mean, I was watching him. Yeah, I was watching and I was like, my wife's like, oh, look at Kimmy's up there. And I was like
caution.
I was like, until everybody pits, and sure enough, it happened. But he did get a chance. I think he was up in 5th on one of those restarts, maybe even.
I think he was in 9th. Anyway.
Well, I think he was in 5th on the first one. He just got bumped out.
He made it to the timing tower. His name was on the timing tower in the part that doesn't scroll.
Nice. That's what I always shot for when I was league racing and night racing. Yeah, I could drive by. There's my number, you guys.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he did the same. I doubt it. But so yeah, he was up there, and you could tell I just don't think they get enough practice in those cars. Those guys that are the one-offs. You know what I mean?
No.
To feel comfortable, I've watched him race and put some F1 cars in some weird positions. You could tell he's being real tentative. I don't think and like we've been talking about, I think they were thrown off by all the physicality. I don't think they thought, like, geez, dude, they were really getting after it.
Yeah.
But
Antonio, did you want to?
Yeah, no, man. Suarez made a really dumb move at the end of the race when, so he was mad because he got punted by, so I think, is Harvick still in the 4? He's still in the 4, right?
Yes.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
yeah. Harvick punted Bowman, which then punted him, and I think it sent him around or something, or sent him into somebody who sent it around and made him lose a bunch of positions. So coming to, they took the checker, race over, they come all the way back around, they're going into the pits, and you guys know Cota's pit lane, it's like just kind of a sharp left.
Yep.
I think it's a sharp left, right, weird, anyways, you know what I'm getting at. So he was coming into the sharp left, and he just pretty much punted Bowman right off. Or no, not Bowman. He punted, who is it that I said first? Harvick, basically right off of out of the lane. Like, he just punted him straight. And fine, nothing came out of it. And then they're coming into, like, where the cone is, to where this guy is standing, like, one of the officials is standing at the like, entrance to pit road, waving his hands, like, telling everybody slow down. And, they're probably like 20 feet away from him. And then he punts him, or he hits him pretty hard in the back. No big deal. Then they're like 5 to 10 feet away from the guy, and he punts him again super hard. And it was just like, what are you doing, man? Like, the official's standing right there. Like, what if he loses it and hits the guy? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was really stupid. And the fact that he hit Bowman harder, too, made no sense to me, because Bowman was literally just along for the ride. But I don't know, man. Suarez has been doing pretty good recently. He's in a good team. I just think he's doing there's no reason to be doing that. Like, you're just going to give yourself a bad reputation when you're on the way up. Like, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bonehead play.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but you should take a look at it if you haven't.
Well, I saw that he was arguing with his teammate also. I don't know what happened there. Never really. I mean, I probably could look it up. I didn't get the story on it, but I noticed he was arguing. My wife was watching, and she was not happy with the way Bowman and Byron kind of, looked like they kind of nudged each other out. Lost some positions for the 24, but anyways, it's just, I think at that point, you're not looking at who's you're thrashing or you're putting into the turn one. You just try to get your car through. I don't think anybody was looking at who's next to him at that point.
Just thought it was unnecessary. Like I'm not, we're all heat of the moment. We've done some dumb stuff. I mean, even in real life, I've done dumb stuff in heat of the moment, and afterwards been like, yeah, sorry, I did something dumb. But that was pretty
never.
That was pretty dumb with some guy standing there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
coming into the pit lane too. Like there's probably crews and stuff. It's just, I don't know, not a good look.
Yeah, not a good look.
I'm sorry. I'm also one of those guys. Get out of your car, take off your helmet, and go talk to the guy face to face.
Yeah, stop using the cars.
You're literally 30 seconds away from being parked and get out of the car.
Yeah.
Just go talk to him, man. There's no reason to use your damn car. Like Antonio says, perfect point. There's guys out there that are walking around. Not just them, but crew, members come out after the race on the pit road. Just all kinds of stuff. Just get out of the car and go talk to them, man. If you're such a badass and you think you can go thrash somebody, well, do it.
Yeah. That's the NASCAR way.
Just do it. Don't stay in your car, Poon baby.
Tell him, bro.
Anyways, moving
overall.
on.
Yeah, Mo, I want to see Gordon at the bottom of the pile, bro.
Come on.
Yeah, and then he gets up and he's got his lip busted.
Well, NASCAR be NASCAR. Cota was interesting, awesome. Where are we going next?
Richmond.
Oh, man.
Richmond, Virginia for 400 laps.
Short track racing.
300 miles at Richmond Motor the Raceway there.
Hey, trucks are at Texas, though.
Yeah, trucks and IndyCar at Texas this weekend. And I'm excited to see IndyCar. Trucks is going to be trucks.
Hey, Norman, is Toyota Owners 400 is what the Richmond race is.
Oh, I'm sponsoring a race.
I'm a Toyota
There you
owner.
go. Yeah, he's a Toyota owner also. I was.
Well, then you're kind of a sponsor.
Yeah.
You used to be a
I used to
sponsor.
be a sponsor. Then I made my money back in the
sold
flip-flop
us race.
days of
Well, I'm
COVID.
I'm excited to do post-race IndyCar and trucks at Texas, so we'll save it for next episode because I'm sure there's going to be plenty to talk about.
Who
Oh,
do you
yeah.
think? Who do you think wins Texas and Indy?
I want to see Pato Award win, man. Really bad.
But who do you think's going to win?
At Texas, I'll put my bet on Mr. Simon Pagenaud.
Okay. Interesting pick.
Pato's going to be in there, though. I don't know. Pagenaud always surprises me, man. I can never bet against him, and I've learned that the couple times that I've literally bet against him, he's taken my money. So
you're going to put your money on him this time.
I'm going to put my mouth where my money is and not bet anything. And just talk some trash on a podcast and say, I think Simon Pagenaud is going to win.
Yeah.
That don't cost
I've
me
always
nothing.
liked the Texas race for IndyCar.
Yeah, I think it's a good race, honestly.
I think it's a scary race, but I think it's a dangerous race, but I think it's always been fun to watch.
I really wanted to make this one, but Easter be Easter. So family and stuff this weekend.
Swerve.
Isn't Easter next weekend?
Yeah, I know, but I got a big family and one day's not enough.
You got to start early.
Yeah, one day's not
Never
enough.
too early to start Easter.
That's right. But we can't wear
Oh yeah,
white.
Easter. I'm racing Easter weekend. I forgot about that. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Jesus.
We got a Formula One Australia Grand Prix coming up also.
Coming up. Also, what I'm excited to do post-race for more than anything. But Levi.
I can do the post race right now. Red Bull dominates 1-2. Alonso in third. Ferrari debacle wasn't even there.
Signed for the gravel.
Mercedes 20 kilometers off the pace.
There has been some talk, and the only thing I really have that has F1 is There has been some little bit of whispers going on that Stroll may have to set out due to his injury, that it's hurt him worse than he thought.
Felipe Drogovic.
No, actually, Vettel's been tossed around.
Dang it. Well, I love Vettel.
Alonso Vettel as a driver lineup would be crazy. That'll never happen.
There's no way he's going to come back.
I don't think so.
I don't think
there's
so.
There's no way.
It's all rumors.
No, there's no way, man.
Yeah. So that's about it. McLaren says that Red Bull got their car right.
New Haas.
No-ish, right? Like, really. No, but I mean, I don't know when it's going to come out. Mercedes is supposed to be putting side pods on their car for once.
Oh,
who knows when it's going to happen?
How unique.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's just. How many pictures of Red Bull cars have been sifted through? They're all the other teams at this point. It's just mind blowing how much they're probably looking at pictures of that car.
Yeah, they got the RB 18, 19, 20, and 21 all going to be on the track next to you.
Yeah, right.
I saw a video today on the Red Bull DRS and about how everyone's talking about how much it's dominating. But I actually, in watching the video, they actually proved it's not that big of a domination. I think Hulkenberg had the second fastest pace through the speed trap at Saudi Arabia. So he was only like a kilometer off Max's fastest speed clocked on the track. So it's just Mercedes is way off their pace.
Oh yeah, they were way down. Well, and I think this car, for some reason, the way it's built, it's a car as a whole, right? So Red Bull didn't do anything special to their wing, but it's done special enough with the rear barge board and the way they built it compared to everybody else's, compared to their wing. I think it's just a grouping of things that they've done to that car, and they just got the sweet spot right now.
Their wing over there coming off their DRS is more rounded than everyone's, I think, and it doesn't create a bad vortice right there like the Mercedes will do.
And just to verify, last weekend, I think Antonio was saying this too, that we were talking about there's about a 20 mile an hour difference or whatever between a car. It was Mercedes with no DRS and Red Bull with DRS open. That was the difference. But
and it is
both of them having DRS open, Red Bull still.
It is not miles an hour; it's kilometers an hour.
Oh yeah, kph. Sorry for all the non-freedom unit riders.
Yeah. So,
anyways, yeah. Besides that, nothing real big going to happen. I think we know how this one's going to end up, but hopefully we'll get closer. Hopefully Ferrari can get closer.
Should do it.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Quickly. Because
real fast, 20 kilometers an hour is 12 and a half miles per hour, which is still a pretty big difference.
Yeah. Enough. Obviously.
I mean, when you've blown by a guy on the highway at 100 versus 120K, it's a pretty big difference.
Oh, yeah. 70 to 80 miles per hour is a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like 3 lanes. That's like left lane versus the right lane.
In it, Bennett, win it for Formula One Australia. I'll go first. I think Mr. Piastri is going to Bennett. Oops, I said it. First home Grand Prix.
Fast enough?
New Haas. I mean, that's what we're going to call McLaren, right? The new Haas. Poor guys.
Ouch.
I don't think Haas can be replaced just yet. They're still in the series.
Yeah, you're right. But I was impressed with Piastri last race, but I don't think we're going to see him perform. Unfortunately for him, womp womp in it. And how can I not say Fernando Alonso? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and take that one from everyone. In it, Fernando Alonso. This guy's a hero. And his post on Instagram was priceless. The whole like hola post. I thought that was a meme, but that was real. He sent that to George Russell, which is hilarious. And then win it. Oh gosh. I mean, of course, Max, but at what point are we going to see Max overstep his confidence?
Well, he didn't win last week.
Exactly. And it was a problem on the car, of course, but still whatever. Well, it was the penalty or whatever. Anyway, I guess win it. I don't know, Max Verstappen.
There you go.
Damn, that was creative.
I can't say anything else, man.
We're jumping out.
My brain won't let me.
We should just make we should just choose third instead of win it.
Yeah. Who's not gonna get first or second?
So for mine, the Bennett would have to be K-Mag this week. I think he's not looking too well. I don't know, compared. I know, sorry. I think he's feeling the pressure from Hulk. He thought he was the guy, and now he's not the guy, and he's a little bit older, and he's worried. No, pal.
He's got the 1 point for Haas this year.
We'll see. So, in it, Leclerc, I'm going to give it to him. I'm hoping Ferrari can just show something. I'm hoping they can do something. I think they're right there. They just got to get their ish together as usual. And win it. I'm going with Checo again, man. I'm throwing it out there.
Ooh.
Checo. Let's go. Checo. That's my 3.
I'll go.
Don't be so excited about it.
Well, I didn't want to go last, so I was like trying to jump in before Antonio. I was going to say to Bennett, Yuki. I just don't feel like he's going to have it this year, and he hasn't had a debacle just yet. So I think it's this weekend is his first debacle. In it? Ooh. I think Sainz is going to be in it. And when I mean in it, he's going to be battling Alonso for third. And then I'm going to have to go with Max to win it. You know, I think Sergio can give him a run for his money, but as long as Max can start fourth or above, you can't count him out.
Okay, I guess that leaves me last but not least. So for Bennett this week, I am going to pick one of the Ferrari boys. I'm going with Sainz. I think he's due for something to happen. It's just the Ferrari meta nowadays. Which means in turn, I think the power shift is going to happen, and Leclerc, not necessarily, I'm just using that as an example, but I think Leclerc is going to be in it this week. I think he's going to be the replacement of who we're going to see taking that fourth spot if Sainz has an issue, whether it be mechanical or just something happening. He's due. And win it, I'm going to go with something crazy. I'm going to take a gamble. Not really a gamble because I'm not losing anything, but I'm going to say something out there. I think Alonso's going to win because there's going to be some tension between Perez and Verstappen, and they're going to run each other super hard because we saw how bad Max won at that point. He'd run his teammate off the road.
Yeah, he would.
We seen it. There's a chance. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, whatever. I mean, it's a stretch, but there's always the possibility. And I mean, if something like that does happen, I mean, you really can't count Alonso out. If something happened to the two Red Bulls, he's there. He'll clean up the mess. So.
Oh yeah.
So I'm with that. That's my take.
I got a question. With how Max and Perez are racing, if Mercedes and Aston Martin can get a little bit closer, but still not be there, but push those two to have to race each other, do you think that it could actually lose Red Bull the championship? Or do you think Red Bull is smart enough to tell their guys, hey, we've got to rein this in?
I'm pretty sure at that point, Red Bull, if it really gets that bad, Red Bull will say, Checo, you take a side seat. Ricardo, jump in there. Follow Max around.
I don't think Helmut Marko takes no ish from anyone, man. Max Verstappen included.
No. That's sweet.
But do you really think Ricardo's going to back down? If he has a car that can beat Max, you think he's not going to go after him again?
Oh, hell yeah.
No. At this point in his career and where Max is in his career and where Ricardo came from, as a whole, he would probably take very, very well to team orders. He would come in second. I think he would do more podiums. I think that's kind of what they're thinking when they the whole supposedly behind closed doors, they've kind of, told Checo that he's not the only one, that Ricardo can take his place now, this and that.
Hey, when's he in contract till, Perez?
think he's got one more
this
year.
is his last year.
Hold on, let's find out.
So-
This is it.
Do we think
That
he's
is
going to
a
get
contract
renewed?
year.
Genuine question.
I hope not. And that's just for my boy Ricardo. You know what I mean? I hate to be that way and cold blooded, but
Do we think
Yeah,
they're
I
going to
mean-
take Ricardo though? I honestly don't think they will. I think
I gotta keep the
think it was
faith, brother.
I think it was a complete publicity stunt. I think Ricardo was brought in for publicity.
He's got one
I
more
think
year.
Perez is going to get walked out the door.
He's got one more year,
after-
I think
2024.
Perez leaves on his own.
He'll be with the team until 2024. Is that this year then, technically? No.
Yeah,
No.
he would leave the team at the beginning of the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's different. I think he's gonna either walk out the door or be walked out the door. Not necessarily because of anything bad. I think they're just ready to move on. And I would like to think they'd pull someone up from the Red Bull Driver Academy. They have some talent, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
All right, man.
drivers.
Liam Lawson is
Shut
my
your
favorite
mouth.
personally. I think that dude.
I
Hey, both of
knew you
y'all
were gonna
shut
say
your
that
mouths.
too, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw
My boy
that.
Ricardo. Come on.
Come on, man. We just need to get him in NASCAR and call it a day. Screw it. You
Seriously.
don't need no F1 seat no more. Let's be honest. Come on now. His
Yeah,
days are
he
done.
He could be as good as Kimmy in NASCAR. Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, okay?
All you got
I'm
to do is
saying.
finish like 20th and you beat Kimmy.
Yeah, I know, dude. Don't-
No,
I know.
he's got some bad luck though. Let's be fair. Like at the Glen, he was doing awesome last year.
Yeah.
And then Cota, I be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to him, but
Anyways, yeah. But Cota came and went.
Yep. Happy to have it.
It's a done deal. It's in the books. So
we had another NASCAR heavy episode, which was
That's okay.
awesome. Happy for
Yeah.
me.
Hey, Antonio. Why was Harry Potter surprised when Ferrari won the F1 race? Because he expectoed Patronus.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say because he believes in magic and then something magical just happened, but I'll take that too.
oh my god. 0 points awarded.
Yeah, but again, we've got a weekend full of racing. Team Goon Squad Endurance Series is back up in action. They will be broadcast on YouTube. 3-hour race start on Saturday.
Where are you at? Or we at?
Yokoyama.
Okay, Yama.
Yeah.
Hey, check out League Zero on Thursday too. We're at Virginia.
That's
I need to
that's
practice.
going to be an
dude.
interesting one with Formula 3 cars like VIR.
I need to
I know Dave's done 0 laps so far.
0 laps.
Hey, I wish-
Now he's going to be releasing the podcast. All thinking, oh, this guy's done for. Good. We're going to win the championship. Solidified. Beating Dave.